I ain't go live in a while.
So I decided
To go live today and just speak on, the topic of fear.
um, we all have
To overcome the fear-based society
that we lived in because we have to change this narrative.
if we want to transition into a better, more fulfilling life, we cannot fear things. We have to cut fear out. I made a post
That shows
a scripture
that speaks about fear and how it's multiple.
scriptures that tell you not to fear and not to have anxiety about things and to have more faith than you do fear and have more faith than you do anxiety when you're um,
Going about life.
going about living. Um, Fear holds back life. The fear of the unknown, the fear of doing something failure, the fear of failure. And this goes out of spirituality into a more business sense or more of a personal sense. If you fear something, if you fear taking that leap, if you fear taking that step, if you fear taking that change, then you're going to stay stagnant. And all of the successful people in the world, they all talk about this point in their time in the period of their life where they had to apply faith, meaning that they had to step in faith and take that leap, even though they knew not what was on the other side. So, with that, that's where fear comes in. Excuse me. Fear is innate.
People talk about fear, but
But fear is innate. Fear is instinctual. It's not necessarily
something to,
scurry away from. It's something to understand. Understand why you fear something. But we're conscious beings. You know what I mean? We have our consciousness is higher than that of animals and instinctual domains that they have that we also have because at our hearts we're animals, but we're very conscious. So we can choose to live above our instinctual natures, meaning fear. We can choose
to live above fear.
by making a conscious decision to not tune into that energy of fear because fear will literally hold you back. It will keep you stagnant. Um, in a religious sense, it says fear was
Never.
installed by God. Fear was that tool for the adversary to, manipulate, destroy all the good things that they talk about the adversary as doing. But when you take that and micro it, instead of putting it into the world and this, what has fear done and crippled you as a person?
Personally, I know me, fear
Has
has
crippled me in ways that I refuse to allow more of. Um, it has crippled me in ways that I was afraid to make a new transition in my life. I was afraid to quit a job that I knew I did not wasn't even supposed to be there. You know what I mean? It crippled me in ways that
pushed me back
to where I had to make a conscious decision to say I will not allow fear to hold me back. I will use faith because I know that anything that I experience is for my betterment. So I never fail. I just learn. And I'm a student of life. First and foremost, I am a student of life. I love learning. I love listening. I love studying. This is what I do in my pastime. I don't do anything else. Like, I really don't do anything else but study and sleep.
and work. Just how I live my life.
It's how I get my fulfillment. So, when I step out, I have to make sure that it's not fear based. Even now, even with this retrograde going on, I'm seeing more of myself, the other side of myself, the sides of myself that are resurfacing as Mercury retrogrades and shows us ourselves and shows us old patterns to see how we deal with those. And a big thing personally for me that I need to still work with is the fear of being misunderstood. I want to explain so much to people because I know my intentions, but I have to understand that even though you can be you, someone will always see you as something else. I saw a quote that said, you always the villain and the good guy in somebody's story. Anybody, regardless of who you are, you're going to be either or in someone's story. So with that, it allowed me, as you guys saw last year, to start speaking more because I was very quiet. I went from being very talkative with a lot of the things that I was learning and experiencing and stuff like that in 2013 to just literally being very, very quiet in that sense and just only, talking every now and again about things that actually fulfilled my spirit. Until, I say last year, just I was forced to speak and I was forced to take that step into my life, that change, that force or that fear of that I was so, that held me back. So when I start speaking, just speaking my truth, just being used to just speak, just letting it just flow through. And the feedback that I got from that and how many people that I touched indirectly by me just being me inspired me so much to where it backed my faith so much. I try to tell people now, I've experienced a lot of stuff to where I had to put my faith into play. And it never failed me. It never failed me. I have only grown in every situation I've been through. I've only learned in every situation that I've been through. And I've only gotten better. So with that understanding, when I experience things, the first person I check is me. Like, okay, how do I feel about this? Why am I feeling this? See what I'm saying? So with how everything's coming full circle because of Mercury retrograde, I'm seeing myself in everything that's going on. So that's why my post is saying that I won't respond back to anything because this is a time of miscommunication. I don't want to have more miscommunications that later on I have to go back and try to communicate in a better light now that it's more clear of what my intentions were. People that know me should already know my intentions are never negative. I'm not going at anybody's throat. I'm not about to expose. I don't, that's not my energy. My energy is to inform. If I'm speaking, I'm just speaking from my heart. Just like I'm doing right now. I'm speaking from my heart. Any video you see me do on my posts, on my live, I just speak. And then I stop. And then I'd be like, oh, let me go answer some of these questions and stuff like that. Because I'm just speaking. I'm letting it out. I'm talking from my heart. The most purest place you can come from is your heart center. So I'm not coming from my mind. I don't want to be right. I don't want to be wrong. I want to just be pure. I want to be from here. I want to be me. I want to be me. So the fear that so many people in this world have is against them being themselves because they fear the judgment, the ridicule. They fear the misunderstanding. They fear how people will look at them. They fear how their family gonna look at them, how their spouse will look at them. But how do you look at yourself? That's the only thing that really, truly matters. How do you see yourself? How do you really honestly see yourself? I know me personally, I have a lot of stuff I still have to, build on and change because I'm growing. But with this conscious thought, I know I'm better than I was before. So that allows me to kill that fear and rely on faith. So I don't fear things. When people be like, oh my God, the worst thing someone can do to me in my life is death. And I don't fear death. So why would I fear everything else that comes with living? It doesn't make sense.
Fear was not put
Here by God. God is love. How can you fear in a state of love? How can you love in a state of fear?
You see what I'm saying here?
Fear is used to get
You so far away from love
that you don't even understand what love is. Because it's conditioned.
So I'm going to love you
Until you do some shit I don't like, and then I'm going to stop loving you. That's fear.
You're not even opening yourself up
to them. You have not loved them. You've not given yourself to them. You're not open. You're not living from this. Living from this. Based on past experiences. So you're like, I'm just going to give you this much of me.
It's understandable to
guard your heart. You know what I mean? There's certain ways you go through things so you can learn how to go through them better. So when you ride your bike, the first time you fall, you get back up, you go 2 more feet, and then you fall again until you understand how to drive. I mean, how to ride and how to cruise. So what I'm saying is not to just go full-fledged. That's not what I mean. I completely understand boundaries because it's life. It's healthy boundaries. But what I'm saying is don't fear
what's on the other side of that
wall that you created, or that boundary, that line. Allow people to see you for who you are, so then you can see you for who you are as well. Because a lot of us don't. And it's based off of fear.
It's based off of fear of us
doing something wrong, or being looked at as you're doing this wrong. Who can tell you what is wrong? Like seriously. Who can tell you what is wrong? Who can tell you what is wrong for your life? No one, because they don't understand why that is happening to you in your life, for your own growth, for your own understanding. That's why it says not to judge others, because you do not know their walk. You don't know their walk. You'll not know their walk. But try to see in that other person's perspective.
That's empathy, not sympathy.
I don't speak for people to
sympathize for me. I speak so people can empathize. So you can put yourself in my shoes.
That's why I share my story. Like I said, people didn't even know I was in foster care since I was a senior in high school. I've been in foster care since I was in the 2nd grade. Because I did not want sympathy from anybody. Don't feel bad for me. I don't feel bad for myself. What do you mean? It's life. You learn, you move through it, you get better. You get
stronger, you grow.
So even then,
I never had
that fear. You know what I mean? I stepped out as me. Not as a foster child.
But as just a person, me, Marcus. So
don't get sucked up into so much fear-based thinking and
living, because it kills every amount of growth
that you can ever try to achieve. Because fear
starts to make you doubt,
starts to make you second guess, and then your self-esteem starts to plummet. Because now you think that you are not good enough to be able to overcome this obstacle because of the fear that it has on you, the hold of the fear that it has on you, that you don't even believe that you are able to
reach that next stage.
That's why it's so many people who have great ideas,
but they don't
have what it takes inside of themselves because they're fear-based
thinkers, fear-based believers. That if I don't do this
the way that this tells me to do it, that I'm doing it wrong. Let me tell you one thing.
I love studying
stuff. I love studying stuff. And the biggest thing that I like to study is
biblical texts, because
it's so interesting how it's so many prophets in the Bible and people that were used by God that live different lives. That lives completely different lives. It was a prophet, the name is slipping me right now, that people looked at it as a psychopath. Like they thought he was legit crazy because of the way he lived his life. But they knew that he was a prophet of God. But they knew that he was a prophet of God. So they listened. So when you look at those texts and you see
the people that were used,
you always see them as flawed individuals doing what everybody is telling them they should not do to get to the point where they are used by God. So, be you.
Be you. The people that judge you
are going against their own understanding of not to judge. I can't judge anybody. It's not my place. I was not given that right to be a judge. No. So I don't. Only right I was given is to speak my truth.
Speak what's on my mind.
Right here, though. And through my heart. Because I have a lot of stuff to be in my mind. I'd be like, I'm going to hold that to myself. For the sake of not getting into an argument. That's wisdom, guys. That's wisdom. That's wisdom. When you know what to say, but you know when to say it. Wisdom. So, take what I'm saying with a grain of salt if you want to. But discern it with your heart. Discern it here. Discern it with your heart. If you feel it and it resonates with you,
then take it. If not,
then leave it.
It was not meant
to come through my mouth to hit your ears to you
feel in your heart. And that's absolutely
okay with that. I'm fine with that. I am so fine with that because I'm doing my part. This is what I was put here to do. To speak.
And I understand
my gifts. I understand my walk because it's mine. And it's my walk with God that's inside of me, that's through me. That's the only person I have to answer to. That's the only judge. That's the only judge that has any say-so over my life. So I don't take in the chorus of what everybody outside in the world is telling me I should be doing.
How I should be living.
How I should sound. And most importantly, how I should look. Y'all see this? Y'all see how rough are you looking? This is me for a reason. This is why I am how I am. For a reason. So I can show people that you don't have to be, you don't see me with no $1 million watch going to gold. You see me in a jacket, see me in a tank top. You occasionally see me post modeling pictures because it's modeling pictures. But when you see me out in public, I dress comfortable. Because I understand who I am. I don't have to dress to impress. I just have to be. I'm not trying to impress anybody. I'm not trying to put off that I'm this, that I'm that I'm this. I am a human being who
is on the journey of
reconnecting and embodying his soul to a point to where spirit can just be
present through and through
every vessel, every cell of my being at every point in time. I'm not here to impress the world. I'm not here to impress anybody. I don't care about impressions. Literally, I don't. I never really have. Never have. Even when I played football, I knew I was good, and I talked my talk because I put in the work. Not because I wanted to be a showboat, and this because I put in the work. I put in the work. I don't talk if I don't do the work. I won't. That's not me. I will not lie to anybody. I can't even lie to myself. I can't even do something that is going against my whole inner knowing and inner being, because I know how that feels, and that feeling is something that I will never sit comfortably with. So I don't put myself in those positions. I'm very, very, very blunt. I'm a very blunt person, but it's coming from a place of love and understanding. And like I said, wisdom is knowing what to say and knowing when to say it. So I'm never here to hurt anybody. It's not my intentions. If you get hurt by what I'm saying, I'm sorry. But I'm not sorry about saying what I'm saying. So I can't please everybody. And I won't try to ever please everybody.
I can only be
in a place of receptiveness in my core. So then
I feel a place of
bliss
and
peace. Because that's what I feel when I'm talking like this right now.
Like it's no brain
activity going on. My heart is on fire right now. When I speak in this term, when I speak like this, my heart is on fire right now. So that means this is my passion. This is why I'm passionate. Because it's a part of me. So for those who don't understand that, but view the stuff that I post, view my videos, view this, do not get upset if I do not respond. Because I've already put it out there multiple times, multiple places. You can find I have content everywhere. And not just because I'm giving you guys content that people will make you pay for hundreds of dollars to go sit and have them tell you the same thing that I'm telling you for free on YouTube, on Instagram, and on Facebook daily. I don't be like, oh, I go deep in depth. I tell y'all the real. I don't sugarcoat anything. I don't know how to differentiate the surface level from the depths of the ocean. No, I just see one fucking ocean. Sorry for my language. I see one ocean, one big body of water that I want to explore. Because I like to know. I asked God for understanding and knowledge when I was 21 years old. Wholeheartedly went and asked for knowledge and wisdom like Solomon. Because I understood what my thirst was. What I was seeking.
Seeking ye shall find.
But everybody has an opinion on how that's supposed to look. You tell me how a prophet looks this day in 2020 during the 21st century.
Based off of your
understanding of the prophets in the Bible that lived in a time that
we don't have half of the stuff that we have.
And in a whole different region. You tell me how a prophet is supposed to look. But everybody has an opinion instead of actually having an ear.
Listen. Just listen sometimes. I listen a lot because that's how I hear.
That's how I hear.
I tell people when I read, I don't just read. I feel. I hear.
And if you don't understand what I mean by that, then read something and then go back and read it again and tell me you don't get a different understanding from that reading.
You will.
So I just want to come on here for a little bit, speak, and just tell you guys just to be yourselves.
And don't fear judgment.
Don't fear ridicule. Don't fear any of that because you're going to get it regardless. You're going to get it regardless. So you might as well live in your most authentic self and on this planet while you're here and face it.
Because you're going to get it for
whatever you do in this world. Somebody's going to have something to say. Somebody's going to have something good to say. Somebody has something bad to say. People just like to talk.
But be you. Be you. And do not fear being you. Do not fear being you. Because God would have never made
you if he did not want you to be you. Simple as that. It's simple as that. It's simple as that. God loves all his children. Because God is love. If you know love, you know God. So why live in anything other than love? For one another. I love all y'all. I tell people all the time I love y'all. Like for real. And I really, really mean that. Like if it could be
1 o'clock in the morning,
man, and I'm asleep, and somebody will write me because they're dealing with something. And I will answer them. Because that's love, man. That's love for my fellow man. For my fellow family. We're all one on this planet, man. Like, I don't know how many people really saw my post when me and Ali actually got into, deep discussion about stuff. Little do people know, me and him talked on the phone for like an hour and a half after I got off of work about it. To come to an understanding. Because I understand him as a person. So even though we go through and have it's always going back to the premise of love, man. Love and understanding. I just made a post that said,
when the light was cast in
darkness, darkness comprehended it not. That means it didn't understand it. It didn't understand it. It didn't know what it was. It understood it not. So when you shine light on things, you're gonna get the rebuttal because it understands you not until it's understood. So be you in your fullest light and shine, man. Flame.